Truckers X TV on air. We are now live in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to another episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. In the previous episode, we completed part 2 of the investigations. Today, right now, we're going to go back into part... I have no idea what the heck I'm going to talk about. Oh my god, why do we start off this close up? But we're going to go back into the trial for part 2. If you're hot today's episode, make sure that like button is spoilers compared to the channel. This is then, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, it's time to put an end to this now. To the miserable curse that has been plaguing Mr. Natsume. To everything! And in my own small way, I shall do everything I can to help you. I always appreciate your help, Mr. Sato. Suffering, Soseki, Sanpashi, sidelined! Ah, good. Morning to you too, Mr. Natsume. Good morning! Good morning, locum strength, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Listen to you two chatting away happily as if the main players of today, Charles, isn't here. Why would you do that? Why? Oh dear, we didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps because you had eyes shut so tightly you were meditating, finding inner calm. It seemed wrong to disturb you. I was waiting. What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Why, naturally, that's because I've attained spiritual enlightenment. Didn't she not just say? A path of literature, you see, is a journey to discover one's own death. Or such like. That's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut. I missed the signs, I'm afraid. Somehow. You'll have to forgive me. And you mustn't talk of your path leading you to death, Mr. Natsume. That was just an example. Oh yes, there it is. Inner calm. You barely came to me at all yesterday. I was sure you abandoned me and returned to your beautiful long-lost homeland. We've not even been in Great Britain a week yet? Yes, well anyway, I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth. I've actually reached an important decision myself. Oh, what sort of decision? I shall fill you in after the trial. Alright. It would seem Mr. Schultz isn't coming today after all. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits. It's a very clear message, I think, that he's overslept again. The great detective? My arch nemesis? Long may he stay away, if you ask me. Defendant and your legal representative. The trial is about to begin. Make your way into the courtroom immediately. Here we go. Today, once again, we face the Reaper. And when the Reaper stands for the persecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. But I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Soseki's curse. The truth is hidden somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing in my client and keep fighting to the very end. That's all. #23rd February, 9:40 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. Yes, the defense is ready. Very good. And now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by a lot of representative. Don't they usually keep the same jury in? Yeah, they usually keep the same jury in place, no matter what. So I don't know why you have to say all that again. Well, I wonder if I could just in my head for me, and please be as ruthless as you like. Thieves deserve to die if you ask me, especially gas thieves. I have no sympathy for that man at all. Look, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this, I got my own problems. Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here and lead us flock to the righteous verdict again today. Now, Lord Von Sykes, what can you tell us? The prosecution's report, please, for the court. In relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant's tea? So he does have the results. Wait, who was talking? I didn't even see. Press Y, goddammit! I'm pressing it! I'm pressing Y! Stop it! Oh well. Because I didn't pay attention as to what happened. Yeah! He didn't say anything! Okay. Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the black... Oh my god, so many blacks! That's kind of racist, don't you think? Pray allow me a moment to savor a liquid of more sanguine hui. I don't know how to pronounce that anyways. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow. And there was indeed a frozen reddish liquid in a little depression on the top of it. Yes, that's the tea. That's what Mr. Natsube brought with him that night. Well, the brains of the yard analyzed it, and yes, you're right. It was tea. And there wasn't a trace of poison or any other toxic substance in it. No poison at all? In other words, the tea the defendant brought with him to the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear. What a revelation! As I suspected. This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume, is blameless. My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. A typical Nipponese reaction. What? Yes, it's true. No poison was found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge. But what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude that the water in the ocean isn't salty? My word, the water in the ocean is extremely salty, Counsel. Oh, there goes that chalice. Exactly. Unfit for drinking. As the tea, just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise word from the lips of Mr. William Shamsphere, whom the prosecution now calls back to the stand. Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's request. Mr. Shamsphere. Yes, it sounds like we're going to have another confrontation with our theatrical friend. Bailiff, show Mr. Shamsphere to the stand. Mr. William Shamsphere, the victim of this despicable crime. Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember? Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamsphere, did have a belly full of the foul fluid given in my innocence. Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we perhaps first been led to believe. By using bars of soap such as this, he has been stealing gas from the supply company, yes. One many smile, and one smile be the villain. I have no idea what the hell I'm saying. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamsphere, did have a room full of sweet feel given. 'Twas right, fellow jurors. Don't forget, this man is a rotten thief. I haven't forgotten. Kept all that ice coins a tidy secret, didn't you? You should have owned up sooner. Arrest him, I say. Arrest him at once, and let him feel thy sting in my tail. Oh, indeed, by dint of vile and cowardly means have I plotted to further my own ends. I confess, thou wouldst not pardon my sins, of that I am sure. If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here? Cowards die many times before their deaths, and for a coward such as I, death will be deserved. But would it that still greater crime passeth unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me. Objection. But there was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have attested to that. What the defense would assert as an inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Shamsphere? Verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak. Very well, let the witness testify to explain the inconsistency. Tell the court why is it the poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea. The tea inconsistency. The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Willis feigned distraction in our debate. Never did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus, 'tis no surprise that poison be not found in the tea. I did pour it to the molds of soap. The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered in my experience. Quite otherwise, it would be disastrous if the poisoner, I'm gonna say pioneer, were to mix up the cups, for instance. But no poison bottle was found at the scene. Because, quite simply, the Nipponese took the bottle back to his own room. The absence of vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. I knew that. By now it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accuser's hand. Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shakespeare, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. Wherefore would I lie? Verily I have no cause, I have naught to lose. Well, I do declare. Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. The inconsistency. The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewing. Hey, yo, I wasn't pressing that. I understand that you were already acquainted with Mr. Natsume, is that correct? I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Do I know thee, or know thee not? Methinks 'tis all I know. Thy destiny mingles with mine. You lost me at first, thee. Sounds, thou must learn the English tongue afore thou dost. Okay, you stopped me there. I did, but I must have missed the archaic Elizabeth lecture. Verily and in truth, 'twas a fine flavored brew, though a drop of poison did barb its sweetness, as the thorn doth barb the sweet rose. That, dear friends, be the simple truth. Listen to Mr. Shakespeare. He seems in an even better form than he was yesterday. Either that, or I'm worse form. That fated evening after I did dine, at Grubb's Grubbery, a local alehouse of good report, naught did pass my lips but the tainted black tea. But behold, the poison was not in the tea at first. It's kind of slowish. 'Twas in my cup alone that wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Well, let's fang distraction in my debate. Never did I drop his own. Oh, first things first. What did I even got? I really don't want to investigate. What do we have here? Who's who again? Teacups used by Chester, and that's right, there is no tea ring on inside Mr. Natsume's cup. Got it. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Are you saying that you saw the moment when the poison was added to your tea? To have witnessed the act and then drank the tea, thou dost describe the actions of a fool. Quite so, quite so. But no one like going thirsty, do they? Sooner would I die quenched than parched, would I have the choice. Actually, on the night in question, the water main was frozen, I believe, wasn't it? Were it not for the tea, in sooth, I would sooner have died frozen than quenched or parched. Right. No ice coins means no heating. The witness had more than one brush with death on the night in question, it would seem. Remind the court, Mr. Shamspeare, as to whether the accused drank any of the tea which he brought with him. With the greatest of pleasure, my liege. While this feigned destruction in our debate never did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. But the teacup Mr. Natsupoi drank from was found completely empty at the scene. And let's not forget the defendant's maxim, drink tea while it's hot. I did go from the poison cup that night, and in mine agony did I writhe uncontrolled. In fits of pain I did knock the fellow's cup, and its contents spilt as blood from a gaping wound, methinks. Though certainly 'twas after I made the coins of ice from his tea. An upset cup was found on the table that the victim was slumped over. There is no contradiction here. Wait, what? Though certainly it was I made the coins of ice for the tea. It fits the paper, blah blah. I did knock the fellow's cup and its contents split as blood as gaping wounds, methink. An upset cup was found on the table. Okay, got it. True, there was no tea left in either cup that was found at the scene. But still, something about this statement is troubling me. Yes, of course, I know what it is. It's Mr. Natsume's wise drink tea while it's hot maxim, isn't it? No, I'm not sure that's it. Thank you, witness. Now reiterate the court. What is that occupied you at the guess you had left and before you drank your tea? When he departed, I did use the tea remain in his cup to make coins of ice. In his cup? I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make coins of ice. In his cup that's nice and empty.
Objection!
You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea on the night in question, and that you used the tea that was left in his cup to make your fake coins. But that's not possible. How? Chop logic? What is this, ye dark-clad fiend? The two teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof. Incontrovertible? What difference? Look at the inside of the cups. Just here, there's clearly a visible ring. Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough. Indeed, such stains occur only too readily when one leaves tea in the cup for a while. And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring. Good lord, you're right. It's completely clean. And prithee, sir, what makes it thou of it? Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday. The Japanese saying he quoted, "Drink tea while it's hot." That's right, yes. The jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well after the several hours the tea was left standing. But, in short, Mr. Shamspeare, you clearly lied to the court. Yet, to a nunnery?
Objection!
As a rule, I fill my hollowed chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. I count more than that. You might want to keep that information to yourself. Yet on occasion, tedium distracts me and I pour more times than I intended until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating but irrelevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shamspeare. Yes, my liege? Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused cup, could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene? A fact that had been vanished from your memory until now. Faith, my liege, thou art a magician. For verily 'tis as though thou hast seen with thine own eyes that night. What? Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty. And thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest.
Objection.
And you've just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before. Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection.
People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us two things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put in the victim's teacup only. And secondly, that this spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that bewitched this court. The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Furthermore, the testimony remains valid in full support of the established facts. In other words, he's getting serious! The inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. No! And here we go again with the jury of the court. No matter how much I look at it, it just looks like I'm looking at a DLC right here. Using the same character models. Just use it for a different story. My lords, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Grubbery Alehouse that night, naught did pass my lips but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stooped as low as death. And what did you dine, sir? Why, I did partake of my favorites. A broth as would be called soup, and a leaf as would be called salad. As insalubrious a menu as that establishment where it was served. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willing would I suffer from punishment 'tis seen fit to serve a wicked thief a gas, but I pray ye wise and noble fellows never forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another. Here we go again. Jurors all, your humble servant Shakespeare doth entreat your punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. My lord! Oh, here we go again. I'm just gonna skip it because we know where this is going.
Guilty.
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 Guilty. Guilty.
Here we go again. Time to assert our right. Oh, happy day! If anything, I'll make it a second episode if I'll make it two, because this is really short for the episode. My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination. Very well, the court upholds the defense's right. Typical, my learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth. This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each one of you to cite the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime.